Hey everybody, I hope you are doing awesome. Hey, I got this question. Um, and the question was, can you give me 10 things that men should know about women before they get married? Well, I couldn't limit it to 10. I had to do 11. Um, so I have to follow my computer though, because otherwise this is going to turn into like a, 30-minute video and it doesn't need to be. So anyway, number one thing that men need to know about women before they get married is women want to be fought for. So that doesn't mean that you get in a fight with a guy because he's being a jerk to your, you know, future girlfriend or wife or whatever. They just want they want to know that you're not going anywhere. They want to know that you're going to fight for their relationship. Even if she's mad at you if she needs to walk away and give herself a minute, she needs to walk away knowing that you love her and that you're not going anywhere. Okay, that she can just rest in that. Okay, number two, don't be selfish. Selfishness and a healthy, fulfilling relationship are mutually exclusive. They cannot coexist together. So all of us have our, things where we feel a little selfish about those things, but when you get married, it exposes every single flaw you have. So it's just gonna take some work. And when you find yourself being selfish and you need to ask her for forgiveness, that you do it. So, okay, that's number two. Number three, women don't need you to fix everything. Most of the time, they just want you to listen. If you get the sense that maybe she wants to, brainstorm with you some ideas, then ask her. Just ask her. Do you want to brainstorm ideas of how this problem can be fixed, or would you like me to just listen? This is a little secret about women. When she is ranting about something, get on her soapbox with her. So every once in a while, when she's mad about something, you just go, are you serious right now? She will love that. She will feel heard. She will feel like you get her. And it is the most simple thing you could possibly do. I realize that a lot of people aren't talking about that, but it is really real, okay? Now, if her soapbox is about you, that is not the time to be like, are you serious right now? Because she's gonna think you're arguing with her, right? So the best thing for you to do is really listen. Don't argue with her. Don't point out what she's doing wrong. This is not the time. If there's some things that you want to address about her behavior, that is a separate issue. You will only make things really, really, really ugly if you bring it up now. So what you want to do is repeat back to her what you heard her say, but be very careful that you are not condescending or patronizing, okay? So what that would look like is you would say, I just want to make sure that I hear you and that I understand what you're getting at. So this is what I heard you say. Now, go ahead and paraphrase what you think she is saying. Now, if you get it wrong, then be patient and let her correct you and just keep this process going until you really get it. Now, this isn't about placating her. This is about really understanding, okay? All right, number four, respect her in all things, okay? So never forget to be a gentleman. It is so annoying for a girl to be dating a guy who opens the door for her, who says please and thank you, who doesn't, use bodily functions kind of stuff around her, and then they get married, and that all goes out the window, and he treats her like one of his guy friends. Well, some of us don't really care for that. Even if we're really independent, like I'm exceptionally independent, I still appreciate when someone opens a door for me. I still appreciate when someone speaks to me in a respectful way. Now that can also gravitate towards, let's go into the future and you guys have kids. And maybe you decide that one of you is gonna stay home and she decides that she wants to stay home and raise the babies. Well, you need to respect her role. Money is far from the only thing that is a contributing factor for somebody, right? Just because she's not bringing in money does not mean she's not contributing to this family. She's contributing in a massively huge way, which will have far longer reaching consequences than the money that you make. Does that make sense? Because when you are raising people, to go off into the world, it is a huge job. Now, I also want you to understand that a lot of women would rather just go to work. So being at home with the kids, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love her kids. It's just that it's really hard. So it's exhausting. You know, your constant laundry, cooking, shopping, refereeing arguments. You know, a lot of times when they're in the toddler stage, there's lots and lots and lots and lots of crying. So at-home moms sometimes feel very forgotten. They feel underappreciated. You know, their husband sometimes is like, I just need you to do more. And she's like, what more can I do? Like, I am like at my wit's end here. So you really need to respect the role that she has in the relationship. And of course, she needs to do the same for you as well, okay? Number 5, women have a deep need for security. Now, I've talked about this on other videos before. She needs to know you got your shit together, okay? So she does not want to be with a guy who is hopping around to different jobs, who, you know, sometimes is late for work, doesn't really care. She needs to see a man who is driven, who wants to provide for her. Now, there's, you know, a lot of people that have varying opinions about whether men should provide for their wives and their family or not. I happen to fall in the camp that men should, but that doesn't mean that women shouldn't work either. I think that it's something that each couple needs to agree upon. But at the end of the day, I do believe that men are responsible to provide for their family. So I think sometimes that comes back to a woman's need for security. If you are hosing up the job thing or being really selfish with money, or, you know, maybe you can buy things but she can't, it's gonna like rock her inside world, okay? So just understand that about her. Even if she wants to work, she still needs to know that you got it covered, okay? She just needs to know that, all right? What am I on? 6, choose her, okay? Nobody wants to be settled for, okay? She's not the one you hang out with when your buddies cancel. If you have an opportunity to hang out with her, like some evening, like let's say you're married and you know, you have an option to go out to a sports bar and watch sports with your friends, but she's at home. It's great to spend time with your friends and she should be doing the same thing, but it should be kind of like an 80-20 where you're spending 80% of your free time with her and 20% with, you know, your guy friends watching sports stuff. And in that 80% should be time where you guys are spending with other couples that share your values so that that friendship can grow. Because guess what? Life seems to be one crisis after the other, okay? Now, that looks a little different for every single person, but when life falls apart, and it's going to, if it hasn't done that for you already, I hate to be the one to like, you know, pop your bubble, but it's gonna happen. And so it's really important to have friends. It's really important that your wife knows you chose her. Kind of comes back to a security issue. She needs to know that, you know, she's your girl, okay? Number 7. Do not, I repeat, do not have an agenda every time you touch her. If you do, I promise you can kiss your sex life goodbye, okay? When you touch your wife, it should not lead to something else every time, okay? You need to give her unsexual attention and affection. She needs to know that she can hug you, kiss you, you know, snuggle with you without your hand on her butt or, you know, you trying to, you know, turn it into something else. She should not feel that way, because what's going to happen is she's going to feel used. She's going to feel resentful. Your sex life is going to go away, and then you're going to sit around wondering what happened. Well, it really came back, if this is what's going on, it came back to you. It came back to how you were treating her. She's not an object, okay? For women, sex starts in the kitchen. It starts with you having conversations with her. It starts with her, you know, you hugging her and giving her a kiss and treating her like a person. The second that you skip all that and go to the other, you made a big mistake, all right? Okay. Number 8, be her best friend. Okay, no, you can't do all things for her. No one is going to be able to fill all the needs that we have. That's why we have lots of variety of people in our life. But as you grow old together, like I said, life is kind of one crisis after another, it seems like. You need your best friend with you, and it's fun, okay? When you're with somebody that you not only love, you actually like, and you prefer to be with them, well, then life is just gonna be so much more fun. A lot of marriages are missing fun, so make sure that you are Mr. Fun Guy, okay? Number 9, okay, you need to tell her that she is beautiful every single day. A woman who does not feel good about herself is going to spiral out of control. Even if when you tell her she's beautiful and she argues with you, just give her a big bear hug and say, I don't care what you say, I think you're beautiful. Because what happens is when she doesn't feel good about herself and maybe she doesn't feel attractive to you, then what happens is shame starts to come in. Shame says I am bad. Guilt says I did something bad. Well, she didn't do either one. But because women have an issue with body image to begin with, I mean, some are far worse than others, she needs to feel like you're beautiful. She's beautiful to you, okay? Just like you want to feel attractive and wanted by her, right? If you don't feel that way, then things suffer. Well, that can get a kind of this messy thing where it depends on how you're treating her outside of, you know, intimate stuff, if you get my drift, okay? All right. Number 10, never, ever stare at other women. I have seen this happen enough times by married men that it is worth mentioning. Yes, I know that men are very visual people, but it's not your wife's fault, and it is up to you to control that. I don't care if a supermodel walks in the door. In fact, especially if a supermodel walks through the door, you need to have your eyes on your wife. It is a glance, and as you're looking back, you don't look that woman up and down. There's none of that. If you want to infuriate her, that is a very good way to do it. If you want to obliterate your sex life, that is a very good way to do it, okay? Don't do that. All right, number 11, do not take her shit, okay? Women do not respect men who allow them to say mean things or do mean things. Now, sometimes women know that that's wrong. It's just that they're angry, and they're angry that this, you know, their husband or boyfriend is not getting it. So what happens is the voice comes up, they kind of start yelling, and maybe they even call names. Now, I'm not saying any of that is right, but that's usually what happens, is that they're getting really intensely frustrated, you get my drift, that you are not getting it. So then it amplifies. Now this goes back to her feeling heard, okay? So if she's that mad at you where she would say something mean to you or do something mean, that means long ago something got missed. And I'm not saying that it's your fault, it's just that you need to just strip it all down to brass tacks and say, what is the real issue here? What are you really, really mad at me about? And it's probably a much bigger picture. It's probably a culmination of a lot of little things that are getting missed. Maybe she has expressed her frustration with something that you're doing or not doing, and you have not fixed that. Now, if you don't agree, well, then you're gonna have to sit down and talk about that and come up with a compromise, okay? If you can't do that, then you need to go see a counselor. Again, this comes back to, she needs to see you fight for this relationship. If she knows that you're gonna fight for her, I can't tell you what that woman will do for you. Okay, so I hope that that helps. If you have any questions, Teresa at fortheloveofteenagers.com is my email. You can certainly email me. Some people don't really like to leave public comments. I'm totally cool with that. Just send me an email, and I will see you next time. Bye.